Hello again, everybody. This is Mr. Everything. I'm coming at you with another Wargaming and miniature video. In this video, we're going to continue on with my market garden project update. I made quite a bit of progress in the last week or so. I think it's been maybe a week since I did this last update. Mainly, instead of recording videos, I've been working on my project. So let me show you a bunch of different things that I've completed. I've got my girder bridge that is finished. I recorded a video on me constructing it. I did run into a problem where I broke a couple of pieces because it is very fragile, but I was able to glue it back together, and then once I painted it, all that disappeared. And I used a really dark walnut brown here, and then just plain old dark brown on the walkway. To make that look kind of like asphalt. I don't know, it's just an idea. And then this is like a gunmetal gray. I thought I was going to use it like this, you know, across the river, but I found that the ends here were very raised up and flat. It wouldn't sit right on the bridge. I could have made something very bespoke for the bridge, but I decided to go ahead and use the ramps that go up to the bridge. And by doing that, it elevates the bridge just a little bit, which becomes appealing on the table. But also when you put it on your 12-inch river tile, it extends all the way to the end on both sides, because it's just like maybe an 1/8 inch. It's exactly 12 inches basically, and this thing's probably an 1/8 inch shy of 12 inches. So yeah, it looks really good, and it covers everything it needs to cover. And I made the river tile universal, so I could use any of my other bridges and lay them there as well. Okay, something I've been working. We'll get to these in a minute, but I've been building some Sarissa buildings. Okay, I've got this let's put that sucker back together. There we go. I got this 3-story building, which you can take the roof off, you can take the individual pieces off. If I didn't want this, I didn't have to have it. I could make it a 2-story if I wanted, you know, or if I did want a 3-story, I could always add the 3rd story. They interlock, so they don't, and it's only 4-inch square, which I thought was a really good size for a market garden building, right? So I have one of those, but I actually have a second one. Okay, that didn't help. I have a second one right here. I just haven't assembled yet. So I've got that coming down the line. Okay, I have these buildings, which you know, this little piece comes off, but I mean, I could glue that because it's super easy to get in there with your fingers. These come off as well, but I could glue it again because you can reach in there. But I think I like the ability to take it off if I want to. I built 2 of these, so I do have 2 of these already built. One more is up there. You just don't need to see it, right? So that's 3 buildings I built so far. And then I built, let me see if there was anything else up there that I built. No, okay. Miniature wise, last time we did a video, I think I was working on my glider troops. Well, I had finished the British Paras, done, and I finished the SS, done. So the Arnhem Bridge, it's probably going to be more like Oosterbeek, but that's finished. I've got the Fallschirmjägers and the paratroopers, U.S. paratroopers finished, so the 82nd is done. And then I have the glider troops and the grenadiers are done, so I have the 101st. So I've got all the miniatures done, except for some vehicles. I still have to do a few vehicles to get that done. Shouldn't take me that long. This terrain project is for my home market garden project, or maybe one of the tables at NashCon, but I'm not going to have enough tiles to do all 3 tables because we're doing 3 simultaneous tables. Okay, I've got another rubble building. Okay, remember this, I still have this building to do, but I have got another rubble building. This one's a little bit more intact, and this is a shop. This is a destroyed small shop. It looks like it's got a front sign plate right there, but it's got like a broken wall here, and then it's got more of a rubbled style of roof. Yeah, so I'm excited to put that one together. And now this one I'll do, I have done a video on all these, but I'm going to do a video on this one as well. And then you might have noticed this on camera, I'm not sure if you can see this, but I got these guys today actually from TT Combat. I ordered just a handful of TT Combat buildings because I wanted to see if they were any good. And I'm going to do a review of them. I'm also going to do a construction tutorial of them, simultaneously probably. So you get to see what these TT Combats look like. One of my friends said he hates it. Another friend said he loves them. So it's just, I'm going to have to come at it with an open mind. And I'm not going to hate it, not going to love it. I'm just going to give you the matter of fact, like, are these any good? Are they not any good? Just by looking at them in their packaging, it looks like the MDF is about twice as thick as the Sarissa MDF. Okay? Because I'm looking at this building right here, and that MDF looks about twice as thick as that. That is very thin MDF. Sarissas look good, and they go together usually pretty good. That bridge didn't go together very well. We'll have to see, right? And it looks like, I don't know, the lasering, you can see all the brown discoloration and stuff. That's all on the inside, but we'll see on the outside. And even so, the lasering is really inconsequential because you should be painting these anyway. Okay, so I've got a village shop. Okay, it's got like a little awning on the front. That's pretty cool. I've got the village bakery, which has got like a smaller awning, but on the end it's got like a signpost. And I might put like, you know, buns or something, I don't know, on there. And then look up the word in is it French or is it German? You know, probably French, Belgium, I'm not sure. And then here is what they call a Mason Amel. I'm not sure what that means. A Mason Amel. Village Mason Amel. I'm going to have to Google it. But it comes with 2 main plates, but then there's this 3rd or 4th plate in there that's under the paper. You have to figure out what that's all about. Yeah, it's a different quality of MDF. I can tell it's got a different quality to it. But it is it's twice as thick. And then last but not least, it's the piece de resistance. the church. This is thick. This is 5 boards there and an extra board under the paper, plus some cardstock for something. I don't know. Looks like a couple of the roof pieces are made of cardstock and not wood. We'll have to figure that out. Yeah, there's a little piece of loose wood in there too. Hopefully that's not something busted. But this is not a toy. Yes, it is. But I'm going to assemble this church as well. But none of that's going to happen tonight. All right, let's start talking about the terrain. I did get the cork board in, and the third shipment of cork, right? And that cork that came in was the perfect size. It was the size that I had already owned. And you can see this is the wood, and then this is the cork glued onto the wood. That's just one of the many tiles that I've made. I've already made like 10 of these. As you can tell, this is not close to being finished. This is just the base tile. I'm going to have more blank tiles than anything else. This is just like filler. I'm going to put these out there, but what I plan to do with these are maybe put some light tan grass over here, some bright green grass over there. Maybe on a different one I'll put some brown grass, you know, like the earth tone, or they call it. Maybe I'll put some rocky outcroppings, or maybe some exposed areas where there's no grass. Maybe I'll put some shell holes in there, because that's not going to affect the gameplay. It'll just be a look. I might put some of my wheat fields on some of these, and then the hedges around the wheat fields and the fences around the wheat fields, I've decided any linear obstacles like walls, fences, hedges, those are all going to be separate pieces that I place. I'm not going to affix them to this. But the fields, I'm going to put them on some of these. I'm going to cut them at angles, and I'm just going to basically go wild with my artsy fartsy stuff. Now, between the fields, I might put a little bit of what do they call it? Clump foliage, or some basically just to differentiate the different fields. I might gouge into this with an X-Acto knife and create like a pond, or maybe just a sunken area. It doesn't even have to be anything significant. It's just going to be undulating terrain instead of it just being a perfect flat board. I'm going to cut into some of them. I'm going to put shell holes in others. I might make a few bespoke tiles for specific scenarios that I run that might have a trench line on them or something like that. But those tiles are going to be like one-off tiles, like you use it once and you never use it again. So I'm kind of like not wanting to do that. And I want these tiles to be usable for not just World War II. I want to be able to use them for Agincourt or for AWI or Napoleonics or whatever. That's why most of them are just going to be grass. Maybe a little bit of hillies. Now I might add some hills to some of these, some bigger hills, and those would be my hill tiles. And I might even make a few of the hills end, and then I could butt up a second hill that ends, so I could have like a half a hill here and the other half a hill there to make it a big 24-inch hill. I might not do that. I might just make the hill come right up to the edge, and then another hill come right up to the edge, and then it'd be kind of like a valley or a saddle between the two hilltops. That's probably what I'm going to do. Might put the hill going this way. Whatever. I'm just going to randomly make some stuff. I thought I was going to texture some areas with like a different color of grass in a bigger pattern, and then remember I'm going to outline it with some kind of like really maybe an off color of flock or a clump foliage or some flowers or something around the outer edge. And then if you put a tree in the inside of that area could be wooded. So then you have your denoted area that's wooded. And if you don't put a tree in there, then it's obviously just a field. So that would make it multi-purpose. So I think I'm going to do that on a few of them. So then we could have wooded patches and stuff like that. All right, but my thing that I've been really working on, and I'm not complete with it yet, are these rivers. Right now, we took the 6-inch by 12-inch boards, and I took some cork and I cut it to size and then trimmed it down like at an angle so that actually I took a double-sided piece and I cut it at an angle through the center, so that gave me 2 halves. And then I would mount one of the halves on one board and then the other half on the other board, but they would normally, these 2 pieces would fit together. Okay. But before I did, I'm going to go, I'm actually filming a video to show you exactly how I did this. But I used Liquitex gel and the super heavy Liquitex, which you cover. I painted it blue and then I covered it with the Liquitex, and you can kind of see the ripples in the water. I mean, you'll have to watch my river making video to see the actual details, but I've got some ripples in the water. I put just my standard basing material along the bank, and then I put some of the Woodland Scenics flock blended turf on the top. So you got a blended turf, a bank, and then the river. And I made 8 of these. Yeah, looks like it's got a little bit of dust on it. Interesting. Some flock. Okay, so I made 8 of these, and if you put 2 together like this, or like that, or like this, you get a 12-inch tile, right? 6 inches by 12 inches. So that's a 12-inch square. So there, now you've got a river going through your terrain. If I wanted to make some curves or some terrain corners or stuff like that, I could, but the scenarios that I'm planning on playing, the river is just going to cut straight across the short end of the table. So it's only going to be a 3 or 4 foot river crossing the table. So I only needed 8 of them. On the bridge tile, that's these tiles right here. When I cut out the cork, I'm ensured that I cut out a kind of like a peninsula that came out into the river like that. So when you hold the 2 rivers together, you can see how it's a shorter gap. The only reason why I did that was because I had other bridges. I had this bridge that I've had forever, and it just wouldn't gap the river. So I had to make something like that so that it could be used as a bridge on that river. I also had this footbridge from American War of Independence, and I wanted to make sure it was compatible with my road system, and it is. But primarily, it was going to be the girder bridge, which it is, obviously. So I made the roads, got a little couple of dugout areas here that I'm going to fill with some clump foliage or flowers to really highlight the road. The problem with doing that, because of this bridge, and the other bridges not so much, but with this bridge, it would sit right on top of those sections of the road. So I'm going to have to be careful not to make these as big as I'm probably going to make on the normal roads. And then the normal roads will bump right up into that. Yeah, so these rivers are going to look pretty awesome. They already look awesome. They're not 100% dry. I still see some white under there, but they're pretty dry. And they're pretty hard. And I'm digging it. I went and bought some Gorilla Glue adhesive because I was using Loctite spray adhesive. That's what I used to make. That's what I used to make, well, all these rivers and this and all the other ones. I would spray the wood and I would spray the back of the cork, and then I would put the cork on top of the wood to make my tile. And I went through quite a bit of that adhesive to do those 10 tiles plus these 8 rivers. So, and I'd already used a bunch of it to make trees with. So I decided to go buy some more. But when I went there, they didn't have any of the Loctite, but they had this thing called New Gorilla Spray Adhesive Heavy Duty Multi-Purpose. And I said, oh, okay. And right on it, it says, use it on wood, metal, fabric, foam, plastic, whatever, and more. And then I looked up here at the more, and it says cork. Okay, so I bought it. We'll see how it works. Okay, but watch the videos of me putting these together and also texturing the rivers. I haven't finished that video yet because I'm waiting for these to dry, and I'm going to do a little bit more work on the tiles. Like I'm going to put some bushes and stuff like that right there on the edge of the rivers, and I'm going to, because this still looks a little too plain. It looks like geohex, you know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put like a little bush. I'm going to put a little, you know, sand here and there, or maybe some little flowers growing or weeds or something. I'm going to put along this shoreline to make it look a little bit more alive. Okay. What else? Something else. Last thing. And this is really just an in-house kind of deal. I went ahead and bought like 2 4-foot, you might see it on this one right here. I bought 2 4-foot boards. All the boards that I've had in the past were 3 feet, right? For a total of 6-foot boards. And I decided I was going to experiment and get a couple of 4-footers, combine them with the 3-footers to get a total of 7 feet for 1 extra foot. And you can kind of see I've got like 6 inches on this end, and then there's like another 6 inches on the other end. What that also did was allowed me to add 1 more shelf at the very top. So, because by adding those 2 shelves to the end of these, those 2 shelves that I had to pull off could go somewhere. So I mounted them at the very top. So actually I got 1 more shelf, and 2 of them are 7 feet long. So I'm excited about that. So I'm rearranging my miniatures. Now I was able to get all of my American War of Independence on 1 7-foot shelf. I took some of the buildings out to make room and also used the 7-foot section of it. It looks like I'm going to be able to get all my trees on 1 7-foot section, and I'm going to put like all the tiles at the top, and then I don't know if I'm going to put buildings or what I'm going to put down here. Yeah, so I think I'm going to have a lot more room when it comes to these shelves. All right, well, that's basically my market garden update and our progress. And come back and check out as I continue on with some of the tutorials, like on this and when I'm putting the buildings together. And then also watch some of the painting tutorials. I think I did a really good job on the P-dot camouflage on the Nazis. I said Nazis, but really they're SS. And yeah, I think they did really good. I still have a bunch of like 30 models of Blitzkrieg Germans. I think I'm going to put those together as well and use those as kind of like second rank troops during Market Garden, because there was some pretty poor troops in the area, just to flesh out the scenarios. But those will go together. Those will be put together and painted like in 1 week. And we still have a little bit of time. August 24th is our game down in Ashcon. All right, well, that's it. And thanks for coming out and checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one.